Hello, hello. Welcome in, everybody. Feel free to hit the link and call in. Otherwise, we'll just hang out for a little bit. Do whatever we want. James, what's up? That would be actually be a really good little snippet. How's my audio? Looks like we have somebody attempting to join. Looks like Moon Shadow. Moon Shadow, you have a bad connection. You need to jump out, come back in. What's up, Jerry? Hiawatha, Mustang, Joe Newman. You voted. Capoeira. Sweep the leg. Moon Shadow, you need to leave the studio and then come back. You have a bad connection. So Cheeks. Audio not great. Which part? I mean, I need more. Sound is way off. Doesn't want to see anything. Like, what's going on? Moon Shadow, it brings you backstage, but you had a bad connection. Okay, let me shut this music off. Maybe it's that. Maybe it was the music. I don't know. So, see, I'm getting mixed signals. All right. I'll kick this. Maybe I'll turn it down a little bit. Good to see you, Hiawatha. Bill Bond, what's up? Lisa, sound underwater. It's better now. Okay. All right, we'll kill that. Anyway, how's everybody doing? Welcome in. How's everybody doing on this fine Thursday evening? Unplug it and plug it back in. Good to see you, Miranda. Lisa. Yeah, we're gonna figure out all this equipment before too long. There's just so many damn buttons. There we go. Yeah, I wonder why the sound or the music was so muffled. Is the microphone okay? I hope so. Sounds good through the headphones. Hiawatha made sketty and meatballs, so I'm doing great. I love sketty and meatballs. I had leftovers. If anybody wants to jump on and join me here in studio, the link is pinned right there in the chat. You don't have to feel pressured, but the opportunity is there. You never know. You know, we always seem to get these interesting characters calling in. What's going on, She Warrior Christine, Michelle? Welcome back. Thanks, Joe. The mic sounds good now. It was only when the music was playing. Oh, okay. That makes sense. Skibidi. Skibidi and meatballs. Lasagna rolls and chocolate chip cookies made with yellow cake mix. Not sure about that. Not quite sure I understand what you did there. James says, let's skip the Denmark guy. Who's that? Is that the mass shooter? Oh, no, the Denmark guy. Oh, the guy who keeps calling in from Denmark. Gotcha. Sorry, I'm a little slow. No, Hiawatha. I should have. I just kicked him. I'll block him next time. Hey, what's going on, Anthony? Whatever happened to Bill, the guy that did the great video on the trails? He was in chat the other day. He says he's doing good, just really busy. So it was good to hear from Bill. Shout out to Bill from Delphi Timeline. Julia Burns. What's up, Julia?
Excellent. Excellent.
Obligatory. Yeah, that's right. That's where he's from, James. Denmark. I think I said Poland the other night. Thanks, Miranda. I appreciate that. I'll take 1,000 Denmark guys over someone who thinks it's okay to share murder pictures of children. Yeah, I don't know why he wanted to come up on here. I mean, he should have known. Should have known. Is that how they get down in Denmark, J Ray? J Ray says, yeah, I'm pretty sure he wears upsettingly short shorts. It's a fashion statement. He's a fashion misfit. Miranda. Yeah, he was a douche. Yeah, Italian food's pretty good. Top five. She worse says, I listened to last night's open panel. LOL, chat roasted that Frank guy. Oh, yeah. He was like, he didn't want to hang around. He's like, yeah, I've had enough of this abuse. It's like, hey, I said you're free to call in. You know, I didn't say I was going to protect you. That goes for anybody. You know, you can call in, but, you know, got to have your big boy pants on. What's up with you, Lisa? How many times has a caller from overseas called in? Twice. The first time he called in, he said that he kind of trolls around looking for people going live, doing an open panel. It's pronounced excellent. Excellent.
Let's try this.
Excellent.
Yeah, he was a weirdo. He's like, I'm just going to call in. And he's like, what are you talking about? What's going on? It's like, I don't know. You tell me, buddy. You're the one that called in. Ooh, that sounds yummy. Sounds healthy, too. Don't have enough info about Denmark to make that statement, but guys like that, they usually have super short shorts. I always thought they were German, but I don't know. Oh gosh. Spreading rumors about Denmark fashion. Yeah, those are the kind of vibes I was getting too, Hiawatha. I want to do YouTube channel start, but Too Shy be a good channel. I would watch it. Build it and they will come, Melissa. Who wears short shorts?
If it doesn't fit, you must acquit.
Oh, what about this one?
You ever feel the hair on the back of your neck stand up? That's your intuition, and you should listen to it.
We will, John Douglas. We will. The link is right there in the chat. Otherwise, we're just going to shoot the shit. Looks like we're talking about food. And I am kind of hungry. I'm not hangry, but I'm hungry. Excellent. James says, I think anyone that calls in should have at least a good level of knowledge on the topic of discussion. No, just a pro with weed and shrooms. Hey, it's an open panel. You never know what you're going to get. We've had we've had a lot of open panels, and some become intense, some become upsetting, and some are very random, like our guy from Denmark. Yeah, that's why I booted him the first time. And the thing is once I boot him, I can't block him. So I have to remember to hit block instead of kick. Joe says, is Frank Meister okay? I thought he would be all over these new documents from this week. I don't know. He posted something on his channel. Sounds like he's doing something. Nope, it's too late, J Ray. You're already spreading rumors about Denmark. It's awful. They're going to be pretty upset. Joe says, Melissa, we are all corny and weird. Yeah, just own it. I believe you definitely could do it. Not only do it, but smash it. Hey, I would like and share and watch. I need a new chair. I got this chair for Christmas 2 Christmases ago. But I think chairs are like shoes and clothes. You know, you just can't gift those kind of things to an adult. Like shoes, you need to put them on. You need to kind of walk around. It's okay, yeah, these are good. Same thing with the chair. You know, you want to sit in it. Not all butts were made the same. Yes, Hiawatha. She gets a lot of weird cravings, but right now, mainly, she's just having like a lot of queasiness. You know, she's right at that 10 week mark where it's really heavy. So yeah, every once in a while she'll get some weird cravings. Oh, back in the day. Good old Larry Birds. What's going on, Susie? Cyber Warrior, how you doing? This is the new studio. The Sleuth Crew Studio. I need a little more decorating and figure out my audio, and then we'll start booking some guests. Going to start locally here. Some cases that I've worked on around here that I'm going to be focusing in on first. But eventually, on every show, I'm just going to kind of put up on the screen an advertisement like, "Hey, if you're interested, and if you're in the Phoenix area, and you would like to be a guest on the podcast, hit me up. Let me know." Of course, it's going to be something involving certain cases, professions, you know, people with interesting stories and things like that, not just random people. CJK says, so how do you search for open panels? Well, what you do is there's an option on YouTube where you can hit live. So you hit the live option, and anybody that's live will be listed in that category, whether they're live now or they were live recently. And all you would really have to type in there would be open panel. Then you'd have all these random live streams that come on. There's a lot of people that troll live streams like that. When I first started and I didn't have a whole lot of people blocked, like I was getting trolled pretty bad. It was ugly. Yep, that's true, Hiawatha. Trust nobody. Who's the one guy that tells you that constantly, not to trust anybody, not even me? This guy. Stay on your toes. Sleuth, my son called me today and said, Mom, you shouldn't be on these crime podcasts. There are a lot of badass people that watches these and do not comment. That's true. That is true. You guys remember my guest Chandler? He says that all the time. He's like, the killers are on these podcasts. He's like, sometimes you could be talking to them. You guys remember Chandler? He was my guest when we were diving into the Maura Murray case. He knows a whole lot about the case. But yeah, that's the first thing he said to me. He's like, yeah, dude, you're probably talking to some of these killers on your podcast. They might be in your chat. Up in your comments. And he's right. A throne? Throne? Oh, a sleuth throne, you mean? Yeah, you got to stay away from those people. When you see somebody who's deranged, don't engage with them. Because what they're looking for a target to latch onto. And then once they latch on, it's hard to get rid of them. It's like a squatter. It's like a YouTube squatter. Chairs for years now. They are great. And the company is also good about repairs and parts. What is it called? I have used Secret Labs. See, my problem is I'm a short person, so I have like these little legs. I'm all upper body. So I need to sit in the damn chair and it needs to feel good. Like this chair behind me, this leather chair, feels magnificent. It's perfect. If it wasn't so low, I would just slide it over here under my desk. J Ray says, I think Gen Z males generally like to wear shorts above the knee too. Any Gen Z chatters here? If so, please confirm or deny my statement. Yeah, I feel like fashion is retro. You know what I mean? It comes and goes. Like every once in a while, bell bottoms will be back in style. I think right now, like the Jinko and the baggy is coming back in. But just before that, yeah, it was the little shorts. And I think that has a lot to do with like Hollywood and the music industry. I think they have total control over that. Thank you, Susie. I appreciate that. So when we have guests, it'll look like this. Like it won't be all dark. Like all the lights will be on. And we'll just be sitting back there chatting away. Yeah, there you go, Mustang. Pickles seem to be doing the trick. They seem to settle her stomach really well. I'm assuming it has something to do with the vinegar. I'm not sure. Maybe a combination of things. James, Denmark guy might show up at your doorstep. Hey, good luck to him. I'm one of those guys I'm so paranoid. I think somebody's outside my door right now. In my mind, there's somebody hiding somewhere close by. Somebody's watching me. Oh, you know what? I think I have auto tune. I always feel like somebody's watching me. I bet you guys didn't know I could sing. Did you? Right now, I'm not sure. I think it's about probably getting in the low 50s, high 40s, but it might get into the 30s tonight. But it's starting to warm up actually. Yeah. I mean, I guarantee some of these freaks come onto these podcasts and watch these channels, you know. I'm sure of it. Who's that, Melissa? Who that? Does it find all lives or ones related to your likes and follow? I'm sure there's some kind of algorithm, but I think if you narrow it down, no, I think it's just whatever's happening at that point in time. I don't know if there's filters. There might be filters, but you just hit live and then it'll kind of filter it out based on what you type in the search bar. Hi, Walth says, I watched one of your first videos a couple of days ago, and the change in you is amazing. I'm proud of you. That's what I'm all about. I'm all about growth. I've had YouTubers that come up to me and they're like, dude, why don't you go through and like delete all your old videos? And I'm like, cuz I want people to see the progress. You know, that's what I'm all about is getting better and doing better and living better, helping more, being more effective, you know, constantly growing. I'm 5'6", cheeks. This chair I'm in is amazing. I picked a bigger one, but see, some girls have long legs and then a tiny torso. I'm the opposite, but I'll take a look. I mean, I'm probably going to go shopping pretty soon because if I'm going to be live streaming and, you know, making a go at this whole YouTube thing, as you noticed, we've been super busy. I'm going to be covering everything. We're going to be having guests. We're going to be going on journeys, you know. So we're going to be super busy. I'm going to need a decent chair. This one does not feel good. I need a little more lower lumbar, I think. Team chicken legs over here. Whoop whoop. I mean, they're pretty strong, you know. They're just little. Joe, Gen X for life. Gen X, baby. Whoops, I hit the wrong thingy. I hate this mouse. They put this button right above my thumb. What were they thinking? What in the hell, man? James says, I have some crime scene tape that I can send you for decor your studio. Oh, that's a good idea. I think we have some crime scene tape from like 2 Halloweens ago. That's a good idea. Maybe I can put some up on the wall. Like going at an angle or just maybe wrapped around. That's a good idea, James. See, that's why I keep James around. He actually adds to the channel. We got a pretty good crew now that you mention it. I watched a live guy feeds his dogs raw eggs mixed with cilantro and either raw whole fish or chicken legs. Said gross. He says never dog food. That actually sounds yummy. That's probably really, really good for a dog. It's vitamin D, all kinds of vitamins in there. Iron, zinc, I'm sure, in the cilantro. A lot of protein. And if he's feeding the chicken legs, I'm sure there's some bone marrow in there somewhere. Oh, you like my singing, Anthony? Any requests? Oh, that's funny. '30s tonight. I'm excited. No O's or minus. Yeah, it seems to be getting a little warmer. The seasons are changing. Might be time to tend to the garden. At least here in Arizona. Not for you guys. You guys got quite a while. When is your thaw? Like April, May, maybe? Or March? Towards the end of March, maybe? That seems too early. Yeah, I agree, Hiawatha. I agree with that. I agree. Yeah, I've had a couple people that have wanted to sponsor me and pay me a lot of money, but I didn't like their product. Um, when I was talking about my health and all that stuff, I had some people. You probably know it. It's a diet pill. They're like, hey, and I was like, nah, it's not something I want to do on my channel. They were offering me a lot of money too. But I have a buddy of mine. He owns a furniture store. Um, and I do need some furniture and some new equipment. So I might go talk to him and be like, hey, get me this list right here, brand new computer, all this fancy like podcasting equipment, really powerful editing software. And I'll just tell him like, hey, these are my views, millions and millions of views a year. Maybe we can make a deal. I'll do like a 1-minute commercial at the end of every live stream. And you don't even have to pay me, just sponsor me by getting me this equipment and maybe some furniture, some decorations or whatever. Yeah, because I build furniture too. Like I do a lot of weird shit on the side. Investments, furniture stuff. I have some really good friends. They're pretty successful, so I can just kind of jump onto any project, moving forward. Mustang says, I know a creator who deleted a lot of their old videos, but they can't delete my memory. I don't think so. I think I might be a millennial, like right at the beginning. I'm not even sure. Gen X or millennial. I'm like right there where they meet. I'm in my mid 40s. Yeah, CJK. You sometimes you got to learn the hard way, and that's what I did. I had to go through it. I had to go through the fire, I guess. But the steel, strike the iron when it's hot. Yeah, Anthony, you've been a great part of it. You've been part of some really good conversations. You've called into dozens of open panels and call-in live streams. It's been good to know you. You're a good dude. Yeah, when I was younger, I used to eat all kinds of nasty shit just to kind of freak out my nephew and my niece when we were camping. I ate a grasshopper just raw. I just chewed it up. But I'm pretty sure that can make you sick if you eat too many. They have a certain bacteria, but you can cook them and they're pretty good. But I used to do weird shit like that. Now I couldn't stomach it. I was a wild boy. Yeah, give it a try, Julia. We probably got about 20 minutes. We're at the 40-minute mark right now. I figured we'd hang out for about an hour. So anybody's welcome to call in. Otherwise, we'll just sit around, talk some shit. No, it wasn't hydroxycut. It was something else. I'll have to go back to the emails and take a look. But they're like, I see them sponsoring all people all over YouTube now. So if the right sponsor comes along, yeah, that'd be great. It'd be nice to actually make some cash, You don't get paid anything on YouTube. This is just something we're hoping to do. We're hoping to build like a social media company, something where we could help with missing persons and just evolve into this huge um, immovable object. But if it doesn't work out, we'll go in a different direction. But we're going to give it a try. And if we can get enough support, um, maybe we'll turn into a well-oiled machine that can't be stopped. Right now, we're like a little remote control car, kind of zipping underneath, zipping underneath the big dogs. Well, it's just random. I showed the members a while ago the library I made for my wife for her birthday. But I do my specialty is coffee tables with the adjustable tops. I like building those. Sleuth, you should show a pic of the bookshelf you built for your. Oh, see, CJK knows what's up. Yeah, maybe another time. I don't know. I think I'm gonna give Julia maybe another 10 minutes, and then we'll get out of here. Crash override. What do you mean the volume's too loud? Like the microphone volume? How's that? Is that a little better? Turn down the output. Hey, there's Julia. What's up, Julia?
Hey, how goes it?
It goes well. How are you doing? What's on your mind? You always
Sorry?
got something interesting to talk about. What's going on with you?
Oh, not much, not much. I'm excited to hear more about your the new, like, with your channel doing more live interviews with okay, why does this, sorry, my camera is,
Yeah, I'm excited about that.
yeah, tell me more about that. I want to hear.
Well, I'm just going to start like making a list of people that I'd like to reach out to and just do more advertising, like let people know that I'm interested. And if they're interested, just give them an easy way to get a hold of me. But yeah, we'll probably start doing in-studio interviews probably within the month.
That's awesome. Do you have anything set up?
Some people that I'm talking to right now behind the scenes, I've made some connections in the local coroner's office. So kind of
Getting the,
targeting somebody there.
yeah, that's awesome.
Yep.
Sorry, 1 second.
Too much bass. Yeah, I do kind of have the bass turned up. Turn it down. Just listening to the chat, they're telling me to fix my mic. How does it sound? Anyway. You're muted.
I know, sorry. I was yelling at my dog.
Oh, sorry.
Just not, no, you're fine. She knocked over the my recycle, and yeah, that was more for you guys than me. Anyways, yeah, so okay, getting the ball, and you're like in contact with some people and stuff like that.
Yep.
That's
Have you
super
been have you
great.
been following any cases? You're always sending me good ideas for True Crime in the Morning. What have you been following lately? There was a new one out that has been catching my eye, but I haven't been able to dive into it or even really pay attention to it. I've been so busy, but apparently he killed his father maybe a year ago and was recently acquitted. Does this sound familiar? His of killing his mother, claiming that she fell on the knife.
Oh,
Do you
no, not off the top of my head. Yeah, I couldn't say one way or another. I feel like a lot of like familial homicides aren't very, unless I know the specific one. I might have heard of it, but maybe not. But I don't.
It's
This
very
one.
new. It's very new. I've only seen it briefly earlier today. And the photograph of this gentleman, he's very young. I think he's only 19 years old. He could be younger, but he's giving me those psychopathy vibes. You know what I mean?
Which state was it
So
in? Do you recall?
let me see if I can find it,
I'd be interested. Yeah.
because I wanted to go live about this case tonight, but I just didn't know enough about it. Yeah, here it is. Florida 17-year-old acquitted of mother stabbing death after killing father.
Okay.
So let me show you his photograph.
I don't think I've heard of this one.
What's his name here?
What's the name?
Something Griffith. Colin Griffith, I believe. Yep, Colin Griffith. 17-year-old from Florida was acquitted on first-degree murder and kidnapping charges in the stabbing death of his mother more than a year after he was found to have killed his father in self-defense. It's kind of that's very suspect, if you ask me.
Okay, is it bad that his photo that I just looked up looks exactly like how I thought it would?
I told you. Am I right?
Yeah.
So apparently he wasn't allowed to, his defense team, or no, the prosecution, I'm sorry, wasn't allowed to talk to the jury about his father's case. So they had no clue that his father had just died.
Okay.
That he was accused of killing his father as well in a similar manner.
Oh, geez. Yeah, I'd be interested to see like when more information on that comes out.
Yeah, I'm going to dive into it, I think, a little bit later tonight.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure how much would be out there. Because when did this happen? The case?
This is very recent. This was published September 12th of 2024.
Okay.
And this is him being accused. So it looks like around September of 2024.
Okay.
Let's see. September 8th.
Interesting. Yeah, I have not heard that one.
Yeah.
I see a lot of these things come up on my like I have all these random like news apps and stuff, and it's just the only news that comes up is like the most depressing things ever, like 3-year-old shot at, blah blah blah, and I'm like, okay, like notifications, let's turn those off because I don't want to see that when I wake up in the morning every day. And so like I've just been getting like a ton of those, and so I don't even like look at them. I just see the specific app. I probably have about 3 of them come up, and so I just like clear them before I even actually finish reading the headline. So very likely that could have been one of them, but I have not heard of this case.
Yeah, the first time I saw it was this morning. I was like, wow. Right away when I saw that photo, I was just drawn to it. I was like, this is going to be an interesting story. And sure enough.
Yeah.
So we'll probably touch on this tomorrow.
Did you hear about, this one's a bit older and you might have covered it at some point. It was the kid who, gore trigger warning, by the way. The kid, he was, I think, 19 or 20, and his mom was like looking in his closet, or I don't know, somehow
found the
like,
head,
severed head. Yeah. Yeah, it's wild.
Yeah, we're gonna cover that for sure. I'm kind of getting those same vibes from this guy.
Yeah, that's what it reminded me of.
For sure.
Yeah, and the kid was just like, if you saw the I don't know if you saw the dash, or not the dash cam, the body cam footage. The kid is just like the cops are like being, doing their job, being like, so like, okay, like what's going on, like, do you know why we're here, like your mom found something in your closet, what, like, do you know what that was? And then he was like,
a human head.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, probably a human head or something. It's not verbatim, but what? Okay, hang on. Oh my god. Okay, sorry. Yeah, but he was just nonchalantly being like, yeah, human head, and just like so stoic and just like matter of fact about it. It was one of the creepiest things I've ever seen.
Yeah, he was a fan of Jeffrey Dahmer too.
Oh, that's sweet.
I was a little upset because law enforcement, they didn't even handcuff him. Did you notice that?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I did notice that. And they're just like, all right, get in the car. And then like when they took him back to the station, he's like, are you okay with me not in handcuffs? Like he was surprised too. And they're like, nope, we don't need to handcuff you. Like he could have just
escaped like Bundy.
I don't know. It's weird.
He's facing life in prison. You know what I mean? Like, why wouldn't he try to escape? Like, you need to handcuff this man. You just found a human head.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's wild. You have people handcuffed for like shoplifting.
Mm-hmm.
If you find a human head in someone's closet, handcuffs are like the very least you should be doing.
Yeah, just being detained, they'll handcuff you.
Right. You never, like, especially with somebody who, okay, how do you trust somebody to not do something crazy if you already know that they've murdered someone in the first place?
And he's
And
obviously
so
psycho.
risky. What?
And he's obviously psycho.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what their thought process was. And they're like, oh, do you want to, like, here, let me make it comfortable for you in the car. I'll turn it on and turn on the AC for you. And I'm like, okay, wow, how kind of you.
And that's
You know
kind of what
exactly
they
what
do.
you
Like,
did.
they can almost control the I don't know, I guess the temperature with people, right? They can kind of control others and the vibe of the conversation. So
Right.
that's how they hide in plain sight, because they're so calm. You know, anybody that's excited, you can kind of see the human response or the reaction all over them and in their body language.
Yeah.
With people like that, you know, it's kind of a manipulation tactic. They can control people that way, I think.
I think for me, it kind of goes both ways at this point, just because I
Pay attention.
will pay attention, yeah, and I deal with, calls and like random, not, I shouldn't say random, but like it's become like its own category of like a stereotypical, like, um, kind of a teen or young adult that has been disassociated, like very antisocial, very, um, just seems like kind of like a nerdy kid, and like, doesn't cause a whole lot of trouble, keeps to himself. But that in itself, like in the past, like I would say maybe like 20 years, has kind of, I don't know, become its own
Red flag.
yeah, I would say red flag category of, okay, like, I don't know. And I do feel bad for these parents. I really feel for them. Like, I remember like like with the Columbine shooting, um, like there was clearly a lot going on with both those kids.
Mm-hmm.
And I really feel for the mothers in that. One of the moms did a TED talk. It's actually very interesting. I would recommend that. But they were like, I had no idea, like, my sweet kid was, like, doing this and that. Like, I would have never suspected. I'm like, your kid goes to school dressed like Darth Vader. You didn't think something was up? Like, it, I just,
Right.
I'm totally not blaming the families, because I think, I don't know. I don't have kids. I can't say one way or another what I would do or what I would think. But overall, like, I think it's a very important thing that, um, that people need to, especially parents, need to pay attention to, like the signs of, um, when a kid is disassociating, because it is very, it's very good. Oh, yep, that's the one.
Hearing voices and stuff like that, I think too, is a big sign. It can be normal, like hearing voices, but it also could be a sign if it persists.
Hearing voices can be normal. What?
Like as a child, like some kids, they have like what do they call those?
Schizophrenia.
Not like a make believe friend, like a drop dead Fred or whatever.
Yeah.
Like
Well, oh my god, I'm so sorry. Like an imaginary friend.
yeah, imaginary friend. There you go. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I think like kids have, but not high schoolers. I wouldn't think.
No, I'm talking like
Like,
young
that's kind of
person.
the issue.
Like maybe 3, 4, 5, 6.
Right.
You want to watch this? You want to show them what we were talking about?
Yeah. I wanted to watch it again too. I'm gonna mute myself because my dog is going berserk. But yeah, let's watch it.
I can't believe it.
Can you guys hear that?
Oh my god. It's kind of a time to not really know what to do. So. At random too. Why? I don't get it.
Don't have any answer. How old is Brian?
He's 19.
He's 19.
What's going on, man?
Cooperate. I am gonna cooperate.
Okay, so parents have some concerns of some stuff they may have found in your room?
Yeah, I believe so.
And what would it be?
A human head and hands.
Like, for real human head and hands?
A
Yes.
human
From?
head and hands.
That fella who went missing recently.
Which fellow was that?
And he even talks kind of funny. That fellow who went to missing recently, you know, he's like weird.
Oh, he's off. There's definitely a lot going on upstairs that we don't know about.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Oh man, if you watch and it was actually really heartbreaking. I mean, not that any murder isn't sad, but it's different when it's a complete vulnerable stranger. So this guy that he murdered was just a local. He wasn't homeless, but he was kind of just known around the community. There was this lady that worked at a shop in their small little town, and she would leave a chair out for him because he just liked to like sit out there and read a book and just like pass his time that way. He would always like leave the chair out there for him, and he was just from what I hear, like a really nice guy. And I think he did have, you know, some financial issues on some level, but yeah. And it was just like this innocent guy, and you can hear, I don't know if it's in this video, but later this kid like does explain exactly what happened, and it's just like, I do not think you have a conscience whatsoever. There's
no real reason for it. He's like, and that's what I try to tell everybody all the time. Like, there is no reason. These guys, they fantasize about it, and they just want to kill for whatever reason. They just want to try it out
because he wanted to know what it would feel like.
Yes, that's not a reason. That's not a motive. You like, how do you investigate a crime where the motive is I just wanted to, you know, I just.
That's a really good way to describe it. It's a reason, not a motive, and that's the scariest.
Let's welcome in Typo. Welcome to the conversation, Typo.
Hi. I've seen that video you're talking about, Julia.
Yeah.
I mean, it glued me. It had my algorithm all the way.
Oh yeah. It's wild.
Sorry. Keep going. I don't know if we're done.
Yeah, I was just reading this. Gives me Ed Kemper vibes. I agree with that. That's spot on.
I think, yeah, the chilling part is kind of he didn't even try to hide it. You know, there's a point where he tried to hide it a little bit by putting it in his closet, but then not so much after that.
Yeah, he was just so like, yeah, there's a human head in my closet. Yeah.
Human head and hands.
Oh, and hands. My bad. Sorry, I forgot.
Don't forget the hands.
Can't forget the hands. God. No, it is very chilling. That's
Well, and the reason why, like, it drew me in, but also it's like one of those like 3-parters where the first scenario is bizarre enough, right? Because it starts out where he just like, he maybe got in a car accident or something, or his car went into the water.
I forgot about that. Yeah.
I know, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, this story gets deep.
Oh my gosh. Yes. I don't know. I'm sorry. What's your name? L?
Oh.
Hold on.
Or Typo? Or
Typo.
Yeah.
There you go.
Do you remember about? You can talk more on this if you like, but how like his car got backed into the what was it, like it was the river, like the boat launch in the river, and
yes,
yeah, that was the weird. I totally forgot
and
about
blood
that.
in the car they didn't even test.
Yeah, they saw like blood on the trunk or something. Yeah,
this all happened within like 4 to 5 days.
Mm-hmm.
It was like the quick one, but
they knew something was up. The mom knew. She's like, "What the hell? You know, something happened in this car. Something's going on." They started getting suspicious.
The way they lay it out is pretty interesting. Okay, you know, when it comes to cold cases, especially like, you know, Abby and Libby, I don't like it sensationalized at all. So I love your coverage on it, Sleuth. But when I go back to so I'm, from Indianapolis. One of the biggest ones from here or from Indiana is Crime Junkies.
Yeah,
And, I
junkies.
kind of initially, liked them, but it's like not, hey, if I go missing, please don't make my thing an entertainment story. I don't want like a creepy video, like, or I don't want a creepy little like opening soundtrack and then jokes before. But I will say that some of these, there's a lot of different cases that maybe they're not cold cases and they don't involve children, but yet still they're very interesting, and the way they were presented had me absolutely glued. And so if I hear it in a different way, or a different podcast, it's maybe not as interesting. But so I would say, like, for example, the way I heard of the Lululemon murders.
Mm-hmm.
The way that I listened to this one podcast, it was like 2 hours, and the way it listed it out, I mean, had so many twists and turns. So it was like they didn't tell the end right from the beginning. So there's one that I don't want to give the end, but I think I would love to hear you tell the story of it, Sleuth. So maybe I'll have to
give me an email. I love getting emails about new cases and things like that are very interesting.
Okay, this isn't a new case. It's an old one, but it's one that's like not
new to
talked
me.
about.
Cases that are new to me, definitely.
Okay, and it's because it's the way that you lay it out that is so interesting. Takes so many turns. So anyway, done talking.
Do you guys remember, or have you ever heard of the yogurt shop murders?
Yep.
The four it's been a while, but when you said Lululemon murders, it kind of reminded me a little bit. So the four teens that worked in some yogurt shop, and I don't think it was solved. I think they had eyewitnesses that said like there were two sketchy dudes that were in the shop before they were closing up, but I don't know if I don't think they ever caught them. It's a really
1991 Austin yogurt shop killings.
probably. I think so.
4 young girls. Yeah, I think we talked about this briefly a while ago. Okay. Let me see if you guys have it.
Yes, that's it. Those are the girls. Yep.
It's still unsolved. Like, ooh.
It's new to me.
Sleuth, can you look up Indiana Christmas ribbon killer? This one's unsolved, and I was working at these schools and knew many people that. So this is still a cold case. I first learned of it from Crime Junkies. It was on their Patreon, but they haven't picked it up since.
Indiana Christmas ribbon killer?
Yeah.
Oh, here it is. Linda McDaniel.
Yes.
Here's a video.
Oh, so maybe it's gotten more, but
there's probably going to be an ad first. Hold on. I don't know what the hell that was. How the liver warns us that it is overworked. Apparently by making
about
you
4 years
gassy.
ago, and I was part of Crime Junkies Patreon, and they had covered this, and I'm like, this is, it's like the schools and around the Speedway.
Linda McDaniel was 20 years old and
Go ahead, continue.
Oh, it was just so then there were teachers that and even a sub that had come back and said, yeah, we remember when that happened. That was my first year of teaching. So if it's still unsolved, it's still open for grabs, I think. But they have what's interesting is have a profile down that's so specific, like an FBI profile, that it's definitely leaning like it was maybe another male educator. I don't know, but it hasn't been picked up again. Also, I have the I can send you the story because I have it downloaded.
Yeah, please do.
Transcript, okay. But yeah, let's see.
Like known suspects, anything like that?
Yeah. It was basically I think it was like a date, and it was a coworker. an educator coworker, possibly. That's what the FBI report seems to, or like the profiling report. It's very specific, almost like the Delphi one. Like, oh, he's going to be he's going to, all of a sudden get into drugs or alcohol, it was so specific. And so now I think they need, whoever it is probably deceased, but in order to figure it out, they need the genealogy stuff. Yet I know a lot of people who, it was their first year of teaching when this happened. I was literally working at some of these schools as I was listening to it. So if you want interviews or something like that,
yeah, that'd be interesting.
Yeah, let's watch.
Let me dive into the case. So what do they need to retest DNA? They have DNA and things like that?
Yep. I think they need, it was just as I'm thinking of Indiana and ones that have been not solved, like that one always sticks out to me. So yeah, it was, she was a teacher, and then her aunt was a principal at McClelland Elementary or something, like all in, yeah. Let's watch this video and see if they describe it better than I can.
Sure, let's take a look. I'm interested.
First year teaching first grade when she was killed in the fall of 1976. A Ben Davis High School graduate, she came from a family of educators and always had wanted to teach at the elementary school level. Her body was found in her West Side apartment. At the time, her killer was called the Christmas Ribbon Killer.
Linda McDaniel was killed December 1st of 77. She was found that day. She was a school teacher, did not show up for school that morning.
She was a teacher.
Somebody from the school had called her family to check on her. They went to her apartment. They found her apartment was locked. The chain was on the door. They did make entry into the apartment and found Linda had been bound, and her head was in about 8 inches of water in the bathtub. She had been locked in.
Wow, that's savage.
In the bathtub, or I'm sorry, in the bathroom.
There's a lot of anger there.
All we know is that the night she talked to
sadism,
a friend on the phone.
It looked like a serial killer.
That somebody she had a blind
especially
date
with the binding.
Had called and wanted to come by because on the blind date he was a little over aggressive, and he wanted to come by and apologize.
Yeah, imagine going on a blind date with somebody like Brian Koberger. Remember the whole tickle story? Like that could go south real quick.
That's so crazy to think about, honestly. So he is my age, or I think he's 29, Koberger?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I went to, actually he wouldn't have been at Wazoo, Washington State University at the same time that I was, because
Yikes.
I think he was at Penn State or somewhere in Pennsylvania. But yeah, before I knew that, I was like, do I have like Facebook friends with him? Like, is there any way like I actually know this dude? And thankfully I don't.
What is it? That Kevin Bacon 7 something separation or something, I can't remember how it goes.
7 degrees of Kevin Bacon.
Yeah, 7 degrees of Kevin Bacon. There you go. You might be connected just through a party or something.
Eventually I'll always find like a Facebook friend of a friend of a friend, except like with Richard Allen it got all shut down, so now we can't tell.
Damn it.
I mean, yeah, did Koberger ever have a Facebook? I don't know.
Paparazzi maybe.
I couldn't find him, but yeah, because I definitely looked it up after I heard it that like he went to Wazoo. I was like, I wonder. But he didn't seem to. It didn't seem like he would have been in the same social circles, because he seemed, again, I've never met him that I recall, but he just seemed like a recluse based on what the news said. So he didn't seem like a very it didn't sound like he got out much. I don't think he was. Well, okay, he obviously wasn't in a fraternity, so I wouldn't have met him that way, or anything like that. So yeah, I think he just did his graduate school at Wazoo. Is that right?
Not exactly sure, but I do believe that the only reason he was dating, I think he's an incel by nature, and I think he was only dating. I think he was targeting women.
Maybe, yeah. He probably had he probably got mad anytime some girl tried to tickle them or something.
I wasn't tickling you. You were tickling me.
Oh man, yeah, that'll hold up.
Anthony France, what year? Maybe you'll know some of these people.
Yeah, what year, Anthony?
I'm new to the slang. Like, if somebody's an incel, it's not like a chosen thing, right? Like,
Yeah, no, it's chosen. They act like it's not chosen. They act like he wants them, but there's a deep-seated hatred for women there. Yeah, they say things like, "Oh, she's a whore, or she's not good enough. Why can't I find any women that are good enough for me? They all want this, they want that. That's not me." But the truth is, they hate women. Nothing is good enough for them.
but what comes first, the chicken or the egg? Do they hate women because they've had such unsuccessful experiences, or
It's mom.
Mommy issues, big time. Yeah.
All
They
about
don't loved enough as a child. I think there's a lot of factors, of course. I can go into any of it. It's not like one set formula, but definitely how they were raised. There can be it's a spectrum, just like anything else is. But I really think that he just was, because I remember for Anthony Koberger, Brian Koberger, he, from what I recall hearing in the news, like, he was overweight as a kid and kind of bullied, or just never got the approval from women. I don't know, be that his mother, or just never got a date in high school. And then he somehow like lost a lot of weight, just like went through a growth spurt or whatever. And then he started trying again, but his social skills were just not there because he didn't have experience in it. And then it just like built on top of the anger. He just kept like feeling rejected because he kept getting rejected. That's the way I see it, based on what I heard.
You guys
That's
familiar
right.
with Rogers?
So spot on. That's exactly who was. I didn't know his name. I was. Good job. Yes, this guy.
Yeah, I mean, he's a good-looking guy. He has a nice car. He comes from a wealthy family. He hasn't even been kissed. But the way he talks about women is disgusting. He despises them.
But I mean, has he been so unsuccessful, but also, do they put Luigi? Is that true? I heard things about Luigi Mangione, and then I'm like, I've never heard that again. Like,
He was very social. He had girls and guys, from what I get.
Okay, then I guess I've stopped following it. Initially, they said something like, because he couldn't get a back surgery, he didn't think he could ever perform.
No, I feel like these types of psychotic folks, I think they just make excuses for why they do what they do so that they can go and do it. But truthfully, I think he just wanted to kill.
But that guy, the kid in the with the one that the head severed thing, he didn't even make excuses. He was just like, "Yep, found a severed head in my closet." And
yeah, he knew. He said in a police interview, he said, "I knew I would be in this room, whether it was going to be either me as a police officer or me doing what I just did."
Yes. Sleuth, do you think there were more, way more descriptive confessions by Richard Allen that they just didn't need to bring in, because he could have talked about could have brought in somebody that they didn't want to talk about? Do you think there's way more detail that they learned?
I think there's a whole lot that law enforcement does know, but I think that because of the way that a defense team could put a spin on it, it wouldn't be beneficial to them unless they had something more. I think even pertaining to the Keegan Klein stuff, or even maybe just the Anthony Schatz stuff minus Keegan Klein. But if they were to present it or use it against Richard Allen, it may give ammunition to the defense team to kind of put some weird spin on it, and they're good at that.
Right. So I think it's pretty. I guess what I'm wondering is, it's pretty amazing they convinced them with the evidence they did bring in, and but I kind of speculate or wonder if they've got even more from him, but they just couldn't bring that particular one to court, because then if maybe you talked about something else, they could spin it. Like, because how did they know that Abby? Like, I feel like they don't use words for unless they're sure about it. So what about Abby hiding the phone? How would they know that she intentionally hid it?
I had the same question. Okay, I'll let you finish.
Just real quick, there's no intention to it. She was hiding the phone, whether she did it on purpose or not. Like, she was hiding the phone. It was under her leg. So it was hidden by her, I guess.
Okay.
I think it might have been, in my opinion, just an assumption. Because how do I word this? I don't think that they would have. I don't know. The likelihood of Richard Allen hiding the phone under Abby, why wouldn't he just like chuck it in the river or like in the forest or anything like that?
Or smash it.
What?
Or smash it with like a rock or large log.
Yeah, or nuke it in the microwave like Keegan Kline tried to do.
Well, you definitely don't want to take it with you anywhere, because that kind of shows where you've been and where you've gone.
Right, but I don't see Richard Allen getting anywhere. There's no, I don't see a motive behind him hiding it under Abby's foot.
Oh, he didn't. I don't think they've said he did.
Right. So I think they
theory is
do
advocate.
that because there's no other real explanation as to why it would have ended up under her.
Okay.
So maybe she, I don't know. I think the only other thing it kind of would have been like a accident. It was either Abby or an accident, but it does sound like it was an intentional placement, in my opinion. But yeah, I personally don't see Richard Allen being like, oh, I don't want anybody to find this phone. I'm gonna put it under the person I just murdered. That's my take on it.
Remember, the phone didn't move, so they're assuming that if her leg is on top of the phone and the phone didn't move, that the phone must have been placed there shortly before she was killed. So either she dropped it or she hid it. Let's go with she hid it.
Right. I think that he thinks that he might have thought the phone, and because also, I mean, we can take his each confession as exactly what he's saying, or that killers, they'll admit to something a little bit here and then they'll add a little bit more, right? So like, I just don't take just the one from Dr. Wallet and think that we need to glue the time frame to that. But I think he thinks the phone and the bullet were all like, because I think he did cock it, whatever. I don't know anything about guns. I think he thinks that extra bullet casing and the phone were dropped by them up at the top. And so, because I think maybe that's why it was hidden, because he didn't even think to look for the phone, because I think he thought it was dropped way back before.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe he even took the phone at one point. Maybe he dropped it.
Maybe. I'll say I did see the bridge guy video, and that was that was pretty haunting. But it really, there's so much more I learned from that, of like, I get why they didn't have anything else to put out, and I get why they did everything.
Lack of information, Typo. I think the lack of info that the defense provided, like, they didn't even talk about what he was doing that day. They didn't talk about what he was doing the night before. And also, Rosie and attorney Aki, who represented Keegan Kline and Ron Logan, they are partners. Like, they work out of the same firm. So I think that if for whatever reason they wanted to go in the direction of Keegan Kline or Ron Logan, I think Rosie might have to step back, might have to step away from it. And I don't think he wanted to do that. So I think they avoided Keegan Kline and Ron Logan for the simple fact that they really didn't care about their client. They just wanted to be part of this case at any means necessary.
Mm-hmm. I'll email you some more things. One thing I may have heard is that a strategy they wanted to go by is we can't use a dead guy. Why would that be?
I think that'd be a better strategy.
Right. But I was,
dead men can't really say anything. So
Yep.
they tell no tales.
What? Okay, weren't they sorry, the defense attorneys, weren't they representing Ron Logan at some point? But
Yeah,
I wouldn't.
Aki.
Okay, so I don't get why that would be an issue, since Ron Logan has since passed away. Would that kind of diminish his credibility? Would that be why he wouldn't even bring up the Ron Logan thing, or what?
Well,
What's
I
your
think Aki and his firm, they have intimate details about Ron Logan. You know, it's that client attorney privilege.
yeah?
So Rosie has access to that. He has access to all of those private conversations with Ron Logan and Aki. So the fact that he has access to that makes it a conflict of interest, in my opinion, for him to then turn around and target somebody that could be considered his client. Like, you can't target your own client. You got to step away at that point, I would think.
Yeah, I know. I would too, and I feel like Ron Logan or the clients would be the easier scapegoats, even if they all three of them had nothing to do with it. Why, like, Odinism? Like, I never get, like, that is such a leap, and
Well,
I
the
feel like
strange
there's gotta
connection
be
between Kagan and Ron is Aki. Isn't that weird?
is what?
Aki, he represented Keegan Klein and Ron Logan. So it's
Right.
weird. Like, these two third-party suspects are being represented by the partner of Rosie, who is now
Right.
defending Richard Allen.
Are there just not a whole lot of, like, well-respected attorneys in Indiana? I don't get,
I
like,
don't
why
know.
hit that one? That,
It's a small pool, I guess.
Well, there was a time there. Aki did step away, and I wonder if we look back now at the time that he stepped away, was that maybe when,
Well,
because
Keegan Klein forced him to step away. He was upset. He was like, well, he didn't, I didn't know that they were trying to give me a plea deal. Aki didn't tell me that. I want new representation. But really, he was just using it as a stall tactic. They were about to throw the book at him, and they did.
yeah,
Right.
why? I mean, what he did was obviously horrendous and grisly on every level, but they gave him the maximum sentence. Do you think they did that maybe to kind of try to get him to give up somebody else? And maybe he did, and then they just couldn't prove it in a court of law.
Yeah, I think that they were ready to wheel and deal with Keegan Klein. I think they were willing to reward him. I think they did reward him. I think there's a lot of things that we don't know about those rewards, and I don't think we ever will. But yeah, that could be why they threw the book at him. Maybe the judge knew something that we don't know. Maybe she sat down with those prosecutors and they told him, like, yeah, behind the scenes between you and me, we know that he's involved in the Delphi case, but for whatever reasons, and I believe it was the FBI's involvement that kept them from making that connection. And why they did that, I don't know. But their involvement is extremely suspicious to me, and the fact that they were kicked off the case as well.
I know I was so glued to your last video, because I guess I'm gonna go with a wise man once told me that he reminds me that okay, when they finally got, was it the mobster Al Capone, they were finally able to get him, and they got him on check fraud. Okay, so that's how. But now, did we know that he did so much more than that? Yeah, absolutely. But they had to get their guy and get him off the streets. That's kind of how I'm looking at Richard Allen. Now, I think absolutely Richard Allen, probably they know he was there and they know he did it. Now, but does that mean that it excludes everything else that was going on around? There could still be way more to a story, but right now at this point, he was absolutely the one who that day he kidnapped it, whatever, abducted them and murdered them. And maybe how did he know to go there? I don't know. Maybe that's still up for investigation. I don't know.
I think it's the best they could do. I think law enforcement's like, hey, this is our best strategy with what we have. This is the best we're going to do. There could be a whole lot more to this case, but because of what potentially lost evidence and things like this, that's all we have to settle for. Just Richard Allen, and one of our other guys is already in jail for some other charges. So I mean, it could have been worse in their eyes.
So do you believe they've settled, or do you believe there's still?
Yes. I believe they've settled because I think they've come to the realization that somebody was affecting the investigation. There was counter forces that were working against them and what they were trying to do.
Interesting.
But you guys, this is going to be all my time here. I got the wife summoning me. So if you guys have any final thoughts or anything, feel free to share them now.
I'm good. It's lovely talking to you, Julia.
Yes,
Thanks for putting me on,
talking to you
Zeus.
both. Yes.
Thanks for calling in, Typo, Julia. You guys, we're gonna do these probably all the time, if not, constantly.
All right. Later, guys.
So,
bye.
I'll see you guys again real soon. Thanks for calling in and making it a great show. I'll see you guys again real soon. Take care. Have a good night.